Tonight's NBA slate of games is really good. Let's break them all down and pick winners. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. This is our weekly NBA show. It's over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app where you can win $25,000 if we can correctly predict 6 NBA games, give them winners, and give them a win margin. If nobody can do it as nobody did it last week, they'll still give away a guaranteed $1,000 prize to the group of people that can get the most points. The way you can get points is 3 points if you can get the winner right, and an additional 2 points if you can get the win margin right. I'm excited for tonight's NBA games. They gave us some juicy, really good, awesome matchups. I was excited to do all the research and break them down, and then I'm excited just to kind of sit back tonight and watch some NBA. With that being said, let's jump on into it and go ahead and predict these 6 games. All right, first one up is going to be a doozy. It's Jazz versus 76ers. What a great game this looks like it's going to be on paper. Offensive-wise, it's about as even as it gets. Effective field goal percentage, 57-53, favoring the Jazz. Three-point field goal percentage, it's only favoring the Jazz by 1 percentage point. And then I did some other, kind of looked at some different stats here to try to better improve our results. Points in the paint is something I added into my analysis here for this contest. And they're about even Steven right there, 47-46. We look at it from a defensive perspective. They both allow roughly the same field goal percentage. Then they roughly allow the same three-point field goal percentage. And then, again, points in the paint. They're both allowing roughly the same points in the paint. The difference here could come down to how these two teams defend within 6 feet and within 10 feet of the basket. The Jazz are 30th in the league in defending within 6 feet of the basket. And within 10 feet of the basket, the Jazz rank 25th. So I think this sets up an opportunity where if Joel Embiid has himself a big game, the opportunity is certainly there. That'll obviously help the 76ers, win the game should they do it. And then another thing I looked at was net rating. Net rating, it takes the offensive rating and defensive rating and then gets out the net rating. Obviously, you want to be in the plus. This is where the Jazz have an advantage here when it comes down to rating. They're at plus 10, where the 76ers are only at plus 0.7. Rebounding, it's about even. You got the 5th team going up against the 5th place team. Look, this one's really tough to predict a winner. Just what a good game this is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and side with the 76ers, though. Look, they're the home team. We know that they have a huge advantage at home. Their record speaks to it. Their home and away splits is dramatically different. They're really, really fantastic at home. And again, the Jazz, they can be punished inside. And when I look at stats like that, I look at, okay, does the team have an opposing center to punish your weakness of defending the inside, defending the paint? The 76ers have that in spades and Joel Embiid. So if he can have a big night, I think the 76ers can do it. And they also have an advantage at the point guard position. So if Ben Simmons has himself a decent to good night, I do think the 76ers can pull out a win. Go ahead and give me 76ers win the game by 3 to 4 points. I told you guys that there are a lot of good NBA games tonight here, at least on this contest. I went ahead and picked Jazz on my wife's entry. Of the games that I think that are neck and neck, this one to me is the most neck and neck, and I went ahead and did Jazz on her entry. That game, boy, has just the making to be really, really fantastic. The next game on the slate, not so much. You got the Nets and the Rockets. This one has the potential to be blowout in the making. The Nets are significantly better. Effective field goal percentage is 13 percentage points higher. They're shooting the three 15 percentage points better from the three-pointer. Points in the paint are about even. Defensively, it's about even. Effective field goal percentage is about even. Three-point field goal percentages, they're both at 37. Points in the paint allowed, they're 49-51. And they both defend within 6 feet and 10 feet, relatively the same. But when I look at this matchup, it comes down to really, while the defensive may be the same, the Nets have the star power. The Nets have the offensive firepower to punish the Rockets. Where the Rockets, over the course of 48 minutes aren't going to have as much easy of a time on the offensive side of the ball as the Nets will have. And it really comes down to the net rating here. The Nets are at plus 9.1. Listen to this. The Rockets are at minus 17.3, which ranks last in the league. And then the Nets have a big rebounding advantage. You got the 11th place team going up against the 30th place team. We've talked about the Rockets on my daily sports betting show. We know how bad the Rockets are. They've lost 12 games in a row now. They're really not even competitive in those 12 games. They're getting blown out. They got blown out in their recent game going up against the Cavs. I expect the Nets to handle business. Go ahead and give me the Nets win this game by 13 to 15 points. Next game we got here is going to be another toss-up. Got Hornets versus Timberwolves. Offensively speaking, it does lean slight advantage there to the Hornets. They shoot the ball better, about 7%. From an effective field goal percentage, from 3, they're about 5 percentage points better, and they're getting about 5 more points in the paint. Defensively, it's more even a little bit on the defense. The field goal percentage is about the same. 3-point field goal percentage is about the same. Points in the paint are relatively the same, and then defending within 6 feet and 10 feet are roughly about the same. So net rating though does favor the Hornets. They're both at a minus rating, but the Hornets are only minus 3.5, where the Timberwolves are minus 8.8. Surprisingly, the Hornets do have a rebounding advantage. This is the 8th team going up against a 27 team in terms of rebounding rate. But when I look at this matchup here, look, you're going to get... We've seen Gordon Hayward sit out a couple games recently. We've seen Cody Zeller sit out a couple games recently. I mean, those are, two of their players, certainly two of their starters. Hayward, more of a playmaker. I just think that the Timberwolves will have the inside presence from Anthony Edwards and also Karl Anthony Towns to put a little bit of a hurt and more on the Hornets. They're playing at home. I know the Hornets won this game recently a couple weeks ago, but that was in Charlotte. We always know how teams perform better at home. This one will be razor close. I do think the Timberwolves will pull out the victory. Go ahead and give me a Timberwolves winning this game by 1 to 2 points. Next game, let's just keep the theme going of just another great game. We've got Bulls versus Pelicans going up against this game. Offensively, effective field goal percentage, 57 versus 57. 3-point field goal percentage, 38 versus 38. Points in the paint, 55 versus 59. You can't get much even than that. This is going to be a good game. Defensively, it spills over to the defense of how easy it is. A field goal percentage, you got 47 versus 46. You've got a 3-point field goal percentage, 36.8 versus 37. You got points in the paint, 56 versus 51. Defending within 6 feet, field goal percentage. You got 62 versus 62. Within 10 feet, you've got 58 versus 58.1. I mean, these two teams are about as evenly matched as you get. It's unbelievable. Net rating, Bulls are at plus 1.4. Pelicans are at plus 0.1. Rebounding rate, Bulls are 7th, where the Pelicans rank 1st in rebounding rate. I think how this game will break down is just give me the home team at the end of the day. Look, I mean, just spelled it out there. This game is just going to be razor close. Come down to the wire, I think. Even though the Bulls did win a few weeks ago, relatively easier on their home court, I think the Pelicans will, be able to reverse that on their home court. They'll be able to get the better of these matchups. We know Zion, is really a bruiser inside. They've got Lonzo Ball, and they got Brandon Ingram. So give me those 3 stars on their home court in a nice even matchup. Pelicans will win this game by 5 to 6, though. You know how into the late games go with free throws and what have you. And we already saw the Bulls the other night. They were in position to cover against the Nuggets plus 5.5. And, they committed a foul with 1.6 seconds to go to send the Nuggets to the free throw line. Nuggets sink both, and the Nets end up covering that spread. So clearly the Bulls have no problem fouling late. I mean, even with 1.6 seconds to go, they're still committing fouls when it's completely unnecessary and giving, in that case, the Nuggets more points. If they do the same to the Pelicans, that's how I think the Pelicans can get to 5 to 6 here in a really close, even matchup. Next one, same theme again, ladies and gentlemen. Warriors versus Blazers should be another close game. Offensive, effective field goal percentage is 55.2 versus 55.3. From 3, the Blazers are a little bit better, 35 versus 39. Points in the paint, though, the Warriors are getting more points in the paint. That's because the Blazers are still without their starting center, and they don't get much from Robert Covington, their power forward. So the Warriors are getting about 12 more points per game, in the paint. But, I mean, the Blazers are still getting points, so they're just not doing their damage inside. The reason I like inside is it's just easier. It's a more high percentage shot. So if you need a bucket, does your team have the center? Does it have the guys that can get buckets in the paint? The Warriors do in this matchup. Defensively, it's relatively easy. You got 46 versus 47 field goal percentage. Defending within 6 feet, field goal percentage is 61.6 versus 61.9. Within 10 feet, it's 57.2 versus 58.3. Defending the 3, 37.4 versus 37. And then points in the paint, the Blazers are allowing about 4 more points in the paint. Net ratings, you got the Warriors at plus 1.8 and the Blazers at plus 0.2. Rebounding percentage, neither of these two teams are really all that good. Blazers are better. You got 20th versus 29th, but neither of them rank really high in the NBA in the rebounding rate. This one always seems to come down to the Warriors' ability to shoot. If Oubre's shooting, obviously if Curry's shooting, the Warriors can run away and win a lot of games. But I just think this will be another fantastic matchup. I do have the Warriors winning this game. I do think they'll be able to pull it out. They're more efficient on offense, which I think will come through, in the clutch in a tight game. And for the Blazers, obviously you've got Dom that you need to stop, but then their second leading scorer, Gary Trent Jr., had a groin strain in the last game. While he did get through that game and finish the game, I just don't know how effective maybe he'll possibly be. Maybe he'll be full go and, it won't be a difference there. But I still think that the Warriors, given that they're, more their ability to get some points in the paint, get some easier buckets, and then, which will obviously then set up the outside shooters there and Oubre and Curry once they get the paint game going, will just make life a little bit easier. So go ahead and give me Warriors winning this game by 3 to 4 points. All right, the next game we got here on the slate is Lakers versus Kings. For offensive speaking here, you got the Kings have an advantage. They're shooting the ball about 4 percentage points better from the field goal percentage. From 3, they're shooting it about 6 percentage points better. And in fact, the Lakers ranked 29th in the NBA in 3-point field goal percentage, not getting it done this year like they were last year in the bubble. And then points in the paint, the Kings are getting about 5 more points in the paint. From a defensive perspective, it's relatively easy. Maybe a slight advantage, to the Lakers, but I actually think it's pretty easy. Field goal percentage is 46.2 versus 46.9. Defending within 6 feet, it's 61 versus 62. Within 10 feet, it's 57 versus 58. Defending the 3, it's 37 versus 37. And points in the paint, the Kings do allow about 10 more points in the paint. But the thing with that is, the Lakers don't have the advantage, don't have the playmakers to take advantage of, the Kings maybe giving up points in the paint. You're not going to get Anthony Davis. Marc Gasol missed last night's game due to, COVID-related issues. Don't know if he'll miss tonight's game, but generally when guys are missing due to COVID issues, they miss a few games. It's usually not just one game, so we'll speculate that Marc Gasol will also be out of the game. So no Gasol, no Anthony Davis. They also aren't going to have their backup power forward Kyle Kuzma, I'm speculating you're not going to have him. He didn't play last night against the Suns, so you don't have Anthony Davis, you don't have Marc Gasol. You may not have Kyle Kuzma, so they don't have the presence to take advantage of a weakness that the Kings do have. In terms of net rating, both of these teams are in the negative. Lakers are at negative 0.3. The Kings are at negative 0.88. Rebounding rate, got 13th going up against 19th there. So that's how that's going to unfold. No real big advantage there in terms of a rebounding rate. I had a hard time picking the winner in this matchup. And then, you know what happened? I woke up to just some news that just made this so much easier. LeBron James is out. So now we got no AD. You got no LeBron. Probably no Gasol. Probably no Kuzma. I lean Kings now on this one. I was already thinking Kings before I went to bed. Did the research last night, but like I said, I woke up to the news that LeBron wasn't playing. Yeah, I know the Kings have their own, injury issues, and they're obviously one of the worst teams in the league, but they're at home here. You've got a depleted, Lakers roster coming into town. Kings, Lakers obviously played last night, so on the back end of a back-to-back. This is the spot where the Kings can get a victory. So go ahead and give me the Kings winning this game by 5 to 6 points. All right, that's how we're going to do it tonight. Really brutal, tough night in terms of trying to predict winners and trying to predict win margins. Should be a fantastic night from a fan perspective to sit back and watch. But boy, to sit there and, predict win margins on that, it's going to be tough. Hopefully I've been of help to you. Go ahead and hit that like button if I've been of help to you. That's always my goal, is to help you guys win that $25,000. And as always, good luck on your picks, and I'll see you on the next contest. Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.